Welcome to this week's episode of Coffee with a Journalist, brought to you by One Pitch. The guests on our show include some of the most notable journalists from the top US-based publications who cover topics including technology, lifestyle and culture, health, science, consumer products, and business news. We discuss their role, the types of stories they cover, what their inbox looks like, and how they connect with sources. Have you heard about our brand new video series featuring guests from the podcast, including today's guest? Head to onepitch.co and look for the video page to learn more and subscribe on YouTube. Our guest on today's show is Kayleigh Barber, media editor for Digiday. Kayleigh covers revenue diversification within the digital media industry, including e-commerce, licensing, virtual events, and membership. Some other areas of focus for her include blockchain, crypto and the Metaverse, the future of work, diversity and inclusion, and other large industry trends. She is the co-host of the Digiday podcast. She is a host and moderator for Digiday and other industry events, including the Digiday Publishing Summit, and she works on editorial projects ranging from topical guides to podcasting. During the episode, Kayleigh shares more about her preference for pitches and subject lines, why sending one follow-up email is okay with her favorite types of compliments about her work, and lots more. Let's listen to more from Kayleigh now.
Welcome, everyone. This is Coffee with the Journalist. Thanks for being here. I'm Beck Bamberger. I have an agency that I run with all venture-backed technology clients called BAM, and also I'm the co-founder of One Pitch, which is the platform creating this whole podcast and getting an end to bad pitches. The start of great stories is what we're all about. We always have a fabulous journalist with us, and today we've got Kayleigh Barber. She's the senior reporter a senior reporter, I should say, not the only senior reporter at Digiday, and she also co-hosts the Digiday podcast, which I highly recommend everyone listen to, based in New York City, coming to us live. Hi, Kayleigh. Thanks for being here.
Hi, Beck. Thanks so much for having me.
Yes.
I'm excited to chat with you today.
I'm excited too. Let's start with, actually, a lot of times we just hop into the inbox and talk about what's going on with pitches and all that crap. But first, for those maybe needing familiarity, can you tell us about Digiday?
Absolutely. So Digiday is a trade publication that focuses on the media and marketing industries. I personally cover the media side of the business. So I write a lot about digital publishers and the ways that they're diversifying their revenue, as well as, really preparing their businesses for this very digital moment of time.
Yeah, exactly. So we were just talking about this with your pitch tips, but what is the type of pitch you do not want? Just to be clear.
The type of pitch I do not want is one that is very off base. So as I mentioned, Digiday covers media and marketing. That can really run the gamut. My beat is pretty squarely settled in the media side of the company. I have started a new beat that is in the blockchain kind of realm. So how blockchain applies to the industries we cover. But a lot of the times, I want to say about 50% of the pitches I get are completely outside of the realm of what I cover. And they almost always get trashed immediately. So my inbox is pretty full. I'm, talking to you on a day when I thankfully have gotten down to, I think, 17 emails, which is pretty good for me.
That's great.
But, it took a while to get there. I have a really packed inbox. In any kind of given day, I get 50 to 60 emails, and I don't really have time to respond to them all. So ones that reflect that they know my beat, reflect that I could apply this to my coverage and understand the type of stories that we cover is something that I will reply to. Yeah, I'd say that's kind of the high level look at what I would respond to.
Got you. So you told us how many emails you're getting usually a day, and then a lot of those are pitches. Of course, that's the bane of being a journalist. How do you organize them? Are you one of those let it ride in the inbox? Well, you said you got down to 17. So do you file? Do you just purely trash? Like, what do you do to keep yourself sane?
That's a great question. I don't really organize or file my emails. I tried to do that before, but I find that takes just as much time and effort as opening an email in the first place and reading it.
Yeah.
The ones that I'm in correspondence with already for maybe a story I'm working on, or, I'm reaching out to someone about a story I want to write, those ones typically get starred or flagged as like important, but honestly, it's more so me remembering what I'm working on and trying to go back to them and finding them throughout the day.
Yeah.
It's not by
Oh,
any
man.
means an organized inbox.
Very few people out of the now dozens and dozens we've done have like the scientific method of any sort dialed in.
Yeah.
Everyone has just something that kind of works.
I admire people who can take the time to do that. I do not have the patience to do it myself.
Few people do. Few people do. Okay, so back to the response and the emails you will respond to. So you're saying obviously the content needs to be on topic for what you're covering. Do you at all gauge though this by the subject line? I mean, or do you open every single email, like every single pitch?
I do try to open almost every single email unless it is a wired email. So if it's like a press release that goes out to a ton of people and I can get the gist from the headline or the subject line, I likely won't click into it. If it's interesting enough, I will take a look at it usually, but the ones that I will open and read are the ones that are addressed to me. Putting my name in the subject line does help in getting my attention.
Oh, interesting. Okay.
Yeah, I know sometimes that doesn't work all the time. I do take a look at the ones that name me in the subject line because I know that they're taking time to email me. And whether or not I respond to each and every one of them, it really depends. If it's really off base, sometimes I don't. But I do try to respond to people who have taken the time to email me directly.
Well, that's nice. That's good to know. So hopefully you'll get a response from Kayleigh. Is a potential likelihood. When you're thinking of the stories you do, Kayleigh, like you did this one on how 2021 taught gallery media to quickly adapt related to TikTok, the playbook. You're doing something on Pop-Up Magazine here. You also do some work on diversity. So you talked about Black Latina owned print publications, creating digital advertisements, all these various topics. Is there a way you come up with your story ideas, or are some of them, or I guess, or do they come from pitches?
I would say a fair amount of them are based on either ideas I've had or conversations I've had with my editors. There are times, though, when I get a pitch from a publication I cover regularly, or maybe a PR agency that's working with an agency or something like that, that pitches me an idea that I do find interesting and I do run with it. I will say when I do get pitch stories, I'm very focused on getting the numbers and the angles of the story set in stone before I go ahead and interview the subject, because I want to make sure that the pitch is going to align with what the story turns out to be. Not always the case, but sometimes I find that, a story sounds really interesting. Maybe it's about revenue diversification and how a company made a ton of money on a new business they launched, or maybe they're getting into commerce for the first time and they saw a really positive response to that. Oftentimes, I need some sort of financial indication that that is the truth. So I need revenue figures, hard numbers, growth statistics, something like that. And that's not always promised when I'm pitched. So I ask for that off the bat.
Yeah. So and actually I like that you mentioned those data, the numbers and everything, because that seems to come up when we do these AMAs, Ask Me to Anything. So I'm going to ask it here. Do you want to see that upfront in a pitch? So do you want the pitch? Here's 3 sentences. Oh, by the way, Kayleigh, I have revenue figures from the last 3 years, growth statistics from the last 3 quarters, boom, 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 like the list of what's available up front.
That's extremely helpful. Yeah. If I can get that in the initial email, I will be a happy camper and I will almost always respond.
Oh, there you go. Now everyone knows. Okay. I like it.
Hard figures are obviously the preference. Not every company can say, we made $3 million on this business in the first year, but it is really helpful to at least know, to be able to substantiate claims of a positive business. I need to at least verify that this growth is happening.
Yeah, exactly. And not by percentage.
Right.
I love those. Oh, we grew 2,000%. We started with 3.
Yeah.
Those are never good. That was never good. Okay. I have a fill in the blank section here, Kayleigh. So I'll give you the phrase and you could fill it in from here. Let's see how it goes. My favorite sources always.
My favorite sources always are willing to give me something juicy. I love it when people are on the record, but if you want to tell me something that you can't really say on the record, but maybe you could say it on background or tell it to me that I can use to inform other reporting, that is amazing. I like being able to learn something new and not just based on the story I'm writing. If I can walk away from a call having had 2 or 3 stories come to fruition from that call, then I find that to be extremely rewarding.
Okay. The most annoying sources always
have canned answers. Ones that are extremely... I find that sources that are very nervous tend to kind of pre-write their answers. So they will sound very robotic and very markety.
Yeah, that's not good.
I could paraphrase around that. I could try to make the story incorporate less direct quotes from them, but it is really difficult to get something worth writing out of a conversation that feels like it's already been written by someone else. So, yeah.
Well, and also like straight from the press release.
Yeah, exactly. Like, I'm not going to rewrite a press release in the first place. If you're just going to act like a, living press release, then the story's likely not going to, come out.
Living press release. You'll get a response from me if...
Again, I think if it's a personalized email that is addressed to me and not going to 1,000 people. I like when people take the time. I like when people offer to provide more info. You give me some pretty substantial details in the initial email. I will almost always respond.
Good to know. You can follow up with me if...
I say follow up with me at least once. I mentioned I'm not always the best.
You do like the one. Okay.
Yeah, I am not the best at responding to emails initially. It might take me a couple days, especially if my inbox is really slammed. Follow up with me at least once. If you don't hear back after that second follow-up, in all likelihood, I'd say 85% of the time, I'm probably not interested and I just can't get back to you. But
it's dead.
Yeah, there's some cases where I will be like, oh, wait, that's actually interesting. And if it's something that fits into my reporting, I will follow back up. But I'd say I do appreciate a second email.
Okay, good to know for everybody. It would be a huge help if sources
know the data during the call. So a lot of times they're like, oh, can you follow up with me after the call or follow up with our PR team because they can get you the information that I don't know off the top of my head. I get that. It's really hard to have these numbers ready and memorized, but it's also really hard to have a conversation when I don't know exactly how large the growth is, or I don't know exactly how big your audience is, or there are some questions that I ask based on the stats that I'm not able to ask in the call because I don't have a good enough understanding of the growth that you're seeing, for instance. I really like when sources are prepared and know what they're talking about in a way that's helpful to the person trying to describe it to our readers.
Yeah. I have not heard that response before. It's just someone not there with their numbers or ready with their numbers and then probably causing a lot of like getting back to you. Oh God.
Especially on a time crunch of writing the story. Like if I'm having the call with the person the same day I'm supposed to be filing the story, you're going to end up hearing from me.
You don't have 3 hours.
Yeah. And you're going to hear from me in your inbox so many times because I can't file it unless it's done. So it saves a lot of time, saves a lot of emails, and it's just overall
more efficient.
Yeah.
Have your numbers, everybody. Have your numbers.
Today's interview will continue after this brief message brought to you by OnePitch. Are you curious to see the unique ways OnePitch helps PR professionals and marketers pitch journalists? Head to onepitch.co to learn about our new OnePitch score and see how easy it is to find the right journalist to pitch your news to. Sign up for your free account today. Now, back to today's episode.
The best compliment I received about my work was?
I think the best compliments I receive about my work are the ones that come from readers who found real impactful change in it. So like they are able to apply it to their businesses. I think I mentioned earlier, I've been covering the blockchain kind of sector a little bit more. I've been writing about how it fits into media and marketing. I've been trying to do more guides that help our readers figure out what they can do themselves in this space. And the people who email me after and they're like, hey, this WTF on NFTs is really helpful. I feel like I actually understand what they are. Or this guide on the blockchain, helped me understand that this is applicable to my business, maybe not right now, but in the future. That's really meaningful to me. I like when the stories I write are able to help people make better business decisions or think about new business opportunities in a way that they weren't thinking about them.
Ooh, that is so rewarding. It must be.
Yeah. And
to have this hey, you're changing my business because of this illuminating piece that you covered.
Yeah. And I think it happens to a smaller degree on everything that we write, but for people to take the time to email you and say, hey, this was really helpful, it makes you feel like you're having a positive impact.
Yeah. Okay. So some more personal fun stuff, Kayleigh. My perfect Sunday is?
My perfect Sunday is completely disconnected from most internet things. I don't want to say off screens because I do like catching up on, Netflix or movies or something like that. And I tend to be on social media pretty much every day of the week. But I've been pretty stringent about not doing any work related things on the weekends, let alone a Sunday, if I can avoid it. So it's disconnected and spending time with the people I love. So, going outside if I can, going to an event or just going shopping, especially for the holidays, taking time to do outdoor, out of house activities in a safe way with the people I love.
I like it. Have you had one of these such Sundays before lately?
Yeah, I've been really trying to disconnect on the weekends.
Good.
I have taken time to go visit my grandma upstate. I've tried to, what did I do this Sunday? This Sunday I visited an old colleague and our dogs had a play date. So it was just, fun little excursions that allow you to think about something other than work.
That's nice. I hope everyone gets to do that more and more, especially in this post-pandemic or whatever we're in time frame.
Yeah.
My favorite hobby is?
Well, right now it's probably listening to audiobooks, which is...
Ooh, we're going to talk about those in just a second.
Yeah.
Okay, audiobooks, great.
Yeah, I do like writing outside of work as well, but I find it really hard to do that when I've been writing all week.
Yeah.
And I really like doing little day trips if I can do it safely, obviously during COVID, but I like getting out of town when I can.
Oh, me too. The last song I listened to was Tell Us the Truth.
Let me look at my Apple Music library because it should be queued up still. Okay, it's from Sia's Christmas album and it's called Santa Visits Everyone.
Yes, Christmas music. Okay, we're recording this just so everyone knows, like 2 days before December starts. So it's not like crazy Christmas time. It's just appropriate Christmas music.
Appropriate
time, in my opinion.
Yeah,
in my opinion.
For driving to the mall to do some Christmas shopping.
There
I needed to get amped up.
I like it. Yeah, get yourself in the mood. Like the game time. Okay. During the holidays, I look forward to?
Again, just spending time with family.
Yeah.
My brother, he's been away at Marine boot camp for the past 3 months and he'll be home this coming weekend. Okay. So it'll be nice to see him and spend time with him. Nice to spend time with friends I haven't seen in a while because we live in different cities, but we're all coming back to the area for the holidays. So it's nice to just see people I haven't seen in quite some time.
Yeah, that is a nice part of the holidays. And then lastly, for fill in the blank, quarantine has taught me
how to cook. I started doing HelloFresh during the pandemic because I wasn't really going to the grocery store and needed fresh stuff to come in. So I had to learn how to cook.
How did you like HelloFresh? Because there's so many different options. This is not an endorsement for them, by the way, but like of all the meal cook things, have you stuck with it? Do you like it? Tell us everything.
I've tried a few of them. I
Okay.
tried one, I think it was also by the same company, but it was like
Okay.
Green Kitchen or something like that. And you could kind of do different low carb or vegan or whatever
Oh, okay.
recipes. I didn't like that one as much because it, funnily enough, felt like less cooking. Like they provided the chopped things and stuff.
Oh,
I liked
yeah.
HelloFresh because they had a decent variety of dishes, and then I could kind of modify it to the way I wanted to have it. So I could leave out certain ingredients, or I could cut the potatoes at different widths if I wanted, stuff like that.
Yeah.
I liked it. I just, now that I've kind of started, and this is, post vaccines, I've started going out to dinner more or meeting up with people and seeing friends again. I haven't been cooking as much, so I find this kind of backlog of HelloFresh showing up. So I haven't been able to do it as much, but I did really enjoy it during the pandemic.
That was a good time for cooking, for sure. Okay, now, Kayleigh, we want to hear what's going on with those audiobooks, because this is the time when we ask, hey, what stories are you consuming? And we'll take film, streamed, books, audio, whatever you got, podcasts, other podcasts. Is obviously you have one yourself.
Yeah.
So anything you're listening to and loving right now or watching, etc.
Yes. So the audiobooks I'm currently listening to are just all the Harry Potter books.
Oh, okay. Old school.
Yeah. My roommate and I, we were watching the Harry Potter movies, and then we were like, hey, let's read these books again. Let's book club this. And she reads the books. Like, she reads the hard paper books. I tend to like audiobooks because I get really distracted when I try to sit down and read a novel. So I clean or go run errands or whatever. I listen to it as I do those activities. And I'm now on book 5 and she's still on book 1. So the book club idea didn't really pan out. But yeah, I've just been trying to, I guess, get back in touch with the fiction that I loved growing up. I was super into like those teen
nostalgic.
Yeah, those like teen.
Oh my God, Sweet Valley High? Sweet Valley High?
Not that one.
Dang, that was mine. And I honestly think that was like kind of pre-teenish anyway. Yeah. Anyway, okay, I got excited for a second. But what are you reading then from that?
So I read recently the Hunger Games prequel that came out recently. Twilight from Edward's perspective book that came out. It's a lot of like these nostalgic books from when I was young, and I just had this like passion for reading. I've been trying to get back into those more just because I miss having those moments of just being obsessed with a storyline, and
like you can't wait to get back to the book.
Yeah.
Isn't that the best?
Yeah, exactly.
And you're like, ooh, can't wait to read.
Yeah.
And it's the best.
Audible cut me off recently, so I've been waiting for my next credit to drop so I can read the next Harry Potter. But yeah.
You can buy extra credits, but you like to be cut off, restrained.
This might sound terrible. I have not been able to find out how to buy extra credits, and I think they're punishing me because I returned the first 3 books in order to get the next one. And they're like, hey, you've been up to some shady stuff. Let's wait until your next credit drop. But
interesting, because it's usually like right at the top.
Yeah.
Like right there.
I
with a button says buy 3 extra credits. Oh, maybe you're on the bad list or something.
I might
don't know.
I think I should be getting a new credit soon, so it'll be fine. It'll be fine.
Okay. Any books you're looking for like the holidays or something? Like, or is it maybe the ultimate gift for you, Kayleigh, is someone gifting you 10 credits on Audible? It sounds like that would be a really good idea for you. Yeah, you definitely would use them.
I have a couple other novels that I'm looking at right now. One of them's by Andy Weir. It's called Project Hail Mary. He was the guy that wrote The Martian and this other book called Artemis. And
Wait. Hail Mary. I read that. That's the one where the guy meets the robot, the other extraterrestrial.
Well, maybe. I have not. I've not.
Oh, shoot. Okay. I enjoyed it a lot.
Oh, I'm glad to hear that.
There is, and actually, excuse me, it's not a robot. It is a creature.
All right. I'm very excited to read it.
Okay.
I have that.
You're going to love it.
Yeah.
You're going to love it. It's very endearing, actually.
I find that a lot of his books, while they're like very sci-fi, they have like a really good human story line.
They do.
Yeah.
Yes. I agree.
I'm
Oh,
excited to
you're going to like it. You're
read
going to
this
like it.
one.
I give that endorsement. Yes.
Amazing.
Perfect. Oh, okay. Those were good. Those were good. You got any more, Kayleigh? I don't want to cut you off.
The other book I got is by recommendation of my sister, who is 19 in college, really in it with popular stories right now. It's called A Court of Thorns and Roses, I think.
Wait, okay, I'm looking up Court. Oh, yeah. Okay,
yeah,
okay.
It's some fantasy book. She said she really liked it, so I'm
Oh my
excited
God.
to
It has
check it out.
20,000 reviews. 20,000.
It's really popular. I feel like I've fallen out of
Holy
the
crap.
popular
Genre, the Gen Z genres. Okay.
I stopped reading regularly, I think in college when I had to just stay on top of all my school reading. And I've tried to get back into it recently. So this is my attempt.
Well, I mean, listen to this first line. It says, publisher's summary: when 19-year-old huntress Frey kills a wolf in the woods, a beast-like creature arrives to demand retribution for it.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, okay.
I'm into
I
it.
think there's wolves and demons and witches. All right, I'm in. Oh, man. That is great. Oh, I'm glad we got that one. That's good.
Yeah.
Okay. Totally different. The future of journalism. What do you think?
I think the future of journalism is going to become more in the hands of the journalists themselves. There's a lot of Substack, for instance, is giving journalists the ability to monetize their work themselves and really kind of build their own audiences. I think platforms like that are going to start coming into the mix, but I also think as blockchain technology develops and becomes more honed and applied to the media space, there's going to be opportunities for journalists to really own their stories and publish it the way that they want to, or give media companies the opportunity to distribute the stories to audiences in a more meaningful way that's not limited to, website or social media. So I think the future of journalism is going to become very techy, but also empowering for the journalists.
I would say so. The question, though, then leads with, or the thought on my mind is, what is the saturation point of all those platforms and all those Substacks and all those newsletters? And it's just kind of like, ooh, there has to be a saturation point of that. And what will that look like? I don't know, but
yeah, for sure.
We're going to figure it out.
I think it'll also depend on, to a degree, keeping the media free, but finding ways for monetization to come into play in new and unique ways. Yeah, I'm excited to kind of see it. I do think there's a lot of opportunity for thinking outside of the box and allowing people to really have control over what they're putting online.
Yeah, more than ever, which is great. Lots of power to that. Well, Kayleigh, we've come to the last part, which is a usually illuminating, fun, sometimes silly Mad Lib. So I will give you the word and fill this out as we go along, and then I'll read it back and let's see what we get. Sound good?
Yeah.
All right. First is an emotion.
Joyful. Joyous.
Joyous. Upgraded. Okay. An adjective.
Silly.
Silly. Another adjective.
Thoughtful.
Thoughtful. Okay. A greeting.
Bonjour.
Bonjour. A good one. Haven't heard of that one before. A verb.
Run.
Run.
It's basic, but
Perfect.
Noun. Keyboard.
An adjective.
Cute.
A cringeworthy PR term or phrase, like just following up.
Just wanted to ping you before the end of the day.
Yeah, before the end of the day. Oh, great. A part of a pitch.
The jargon.
And then a few more here. Length of time.
2 days.
2 days. And then the name of a real person, ideally alive.
Queen Elizabeth.
She is still alive. God bless her. Okay, last thing, an emotion.
Scared.
Great. All right, Kayleigh, here we go. When I think of the future of journalism, I feel joyful. The pitches I receive have gone from silly to thoughtful. If I receive a pitch that starts with bonjour, I run. When I write stories on keyboards, I get cute. My favorite pitches include just wanted to ping you before the end of the day and a lot of jargon. I normally take around 2 days to respond to my emails, but if it's Queen Elizabeth, the Queen, AKA, I will respond immediately. If you do get a response back from me, you should know I'm very scared for you. I kind of like this one. This is a good one.
The end. Most of that is true. It's truthful.
Yes.
The last one, I think, silly but accurate.
There you go.
Yeah, you'll hear from me a lot usually.
Yep, I like it. Kayleigh, thank you for being on today. Kayleigh Barber, senior reporter at Digiday. It has been lovely, and I hope you get to get into those books, especially the one we talked about with may or may not have a creature that you're going to enjoy. Yeah.
I look forward to it. Thank you so much for having me on.
Thanks, Kayleigh.
Thanks for listening to this week's episode of Coffee with the Journalist featuring Kayleigh Barber from Digiday. If you enjoy listening to our show, make sure to subscribe on iTunes, Spotify, Google Podcasts, and anywhere else you listen to podcasts. And if you have a moment, please leave us a review to share your thoughts about the show and today's guest. To learn more about the latest tools on OnePitch and to subscribe to our weekly podcast newsletter, head to our website at onepitch.co. We'll see you all next week with a brand new guest and even more insights about the journalists you want to learn more about. Until then, start great stories.